Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2015 Coachmen Mirada 35BH bunkhouse motorhome with a bath and a half floor plan. This is a high-end, top-of-the-line motorhome. It's got the V10 362 horsepower gas engine on the Ford chassis. It's got 1.5 full restrooms. It's got a rear giant restroom in the back, which is 4 foot by 8 foot dimensions inside. It's a little windy. It's got the backup camera, side view cameras, 2 giant slide outs, and these have the Schwintek drive mechanism which holds the RV solid. The Schwintek mechanism is very good. Electric awning, outside entertainment system, and it has a cavernous cargo storage. So the outside TV, right now we're in, as you saw, we're going all the way around. We're in the middle of a parking lot. It's getting over-the-air TV channels. Let's open both cargo bins because this is a cavernous cargo area. It goes all the way from there to there and all the way across. So it's about 6 foot by 8 foot cargo area. This has the halo headlights. Notice these little rings around the headlights and LED daytime running lights. You've got side view cameras, Goodyear tires, fog lights, one-piece front windshield, LED clearance lights, big towing mirrors with the wide convex. These are power aim and heated, and you have the wide convex lens. And they're chrome, they look good. So let's take a look at the other side here. Let's look at the cargo area. So we're opening the cargo door here. Notice how thick this thing is. I have the package from a vacuum cleaner that fits in here. That's an empty box. And it goes all the way across. There's a ladder for the bunk beds down here. It goes all the way across. This about 6 foot across by 8 feet deep. Cavernous cargo storage. And it's carpet lined, so it has carpet. This is steel. This is not that flimsy plastic. If you throw some big automotive batteries in here or an extra water tank to go dry camping somewhere, this is not going to fall out when you're driving down the road. This is steel compartments made of metal. And your cargo latches are what they call slam latches. They're side hinged cargo doors. So if you don't close one all the way, or you forget to close one and you start driving down the road, they can slam close when you're driving down the road automatically. Giant Goodyear tires. I'm going to show later in the video, I'm going to go underneath and show you all the tires and stuff like that. It's got the Onan 5500 Cummins generator. It's running right now. This produces 5,500 watts or 50 amps of power, 3-phase electrical system. So you can run both air conditionings and all your accessories and whatever you bring with you. It's got a big 50 amp power cable right here. There's 2 black and gray tanks, 2 black tanks and 2 gray tanks. This is your rear dumping station. So you have rear black and rear gray support the rear 4 foot by 8 foot restroom and shower. The front black and gray tanks support the kitchen and the front bathroom. Remember, there's 2 toilets in this motorhome. And then you have an outside shower, so when you go to the beach and your kids are all covered with sand, you can turn this on and take and rinse off all the sand right here in the parking lot or the parking lot of the beach. You have a water pump switch to enable or disable the water pump, so you don't have to run inside to turn on the water pump. It's got a control right there, and hot and cold running water. Whole RV water filtration system. And then this is the front black and gray tank discharge. So you have, like I said, for your front toilet has its own tank, the rear toilet has its own tank, the front bathroom sink and kitchen sink have its own gray tank. So here's your main drains, so if you need to drain the water system for storage, there's easy access to that. And both the front and rear black tanks have a black tank flush valve on them. This is your coach heater. It has a bug shield on it to keep wasp and stuff from making nests in there, so you have reliable source of heat. And this coach has the frameless windows on it. Frameless windows, they're clean flush to the outside. They're aerodynamically nice and attractive. Streamlined windows. You don't see all the frames with glue dripping down. And up on the slide outs, you have awnings on top of the slide outs. Now those are for shade for the awning, but they keep off rain. And when you go to a beautiful spot under some nice big trees and you got squirrels and birds that want to throw acorns at your RV, they'll fall on top of the awning and roll off the side. You don't have to climb up with a broom and sweep that off. The awning keeps your slide topper awning keeps everything clean up there. Especially if you go camping in the fall, when the trees dump all the leaves on top of your RV, they just fall off the side. You don't have to rake up leaves or anything like that. Up on the roof we have those Max Air vent covers. It's a nice looking RV, glossy tan and black. You have a center rear fill, so if you pull up to the gas pump, usually you can fill from the left, but if you have to, you can fill from the right, or you can back up to a pump in some gas stations and fill from the rear. Roof access ladder, again the slide topper awning, and power electrically operated main awning. So you just go inside, you hit the button, it rolls up. And up in over the driver's and passenger seat, there's a electric front bunk bed. Now about this outside TV, we're picking up hundreds of channels, about 150 channels. This is HD broadcast over the air. This is not satellite. We're in the parking lot picking it up from the local TV station's broadcast. Okay, we're gonna go up on the roof a little bit later, but next we're gonna go on to the inside. So let's walk inside this 35BH Coachmen Mirada built by Forest River. This motorhome has barely got 8,000 miles on it, and it's like brand new inside and outside, but especially on the inside. It's really, really clean. And I'm going to take you on a quick walk through and then go into detail on the features. First of all, this has the horseshoe style dinette, which can easily sit 6 people, turn into a bed for tall adults. It's got the bunk bed / wardrobe cabinet. So it's bunk beds with doors, and then the top bunk moves up. I can't do it holding this camera, but I'll do it right now. So the top bunk, if you move the mattress, can fold up, and then it's a wardrobe cabinet. You can hang your clothes on this bar on top and close the cabinet doors, and you have a wardrobe. So for example, if you were grandparents and occasionally you have the grandkids, or your parents and you have older kids and sometimes they're with you or sometimes they're not, or hunting buddies, whatever, and it folds down. There's a lock pin to hold it in the up position, and you have your clothes in there, and then it's either a bunk beds or a wardrobe cabinet. So the bunk beds have doors, and I've upgraded the latches to magnetic. Hold the doors closed. It works really good. It's better than factory. This is a 1.5 bath floor plan. So right here across from the bunk beds, you have the half bath. which is perfect for your guests or your kids. Come in here, you have a toilet and a sink. You have linen storage. Nice big cabinets in here so you can store towels or clothes or whatever you want to store in here. There's a vent on the roof. There's a privacy door that goes back to the bedroom, so when someone's in the back they can close it off for privacy. It's a single piece sliding door. And then we go on to the rear bathroom. You have a queen bed here. Has storage underneath. I'll show you in a second. And then we go to the rear full bath. And this motorhome has a gigantic shower, one of the biggest showers you'll find in a motorhome. It's actually 3 foot by 4 foot shower. So the distance this way is 4 feet. The distance this way is 3 feet, because your rear bathroom area is 4 foot by 8 feet. The size of a sheet of plywood, and then you have a second toilet, a third sink. You have linen storage. This cabinet's almost big enough to put a washer and dryer in. Not quite, but almost. Some of these Forest River motorhomes with a 4 foot by 8 foot bathroom in the back have a washer and dryer back here, but they have a smaller shower. This is a big shower, so a lot of room to go in here, and if you needed to give your little kids a shower in there or whatever. It has its own separate black and gray tanks for the rear bathroom. So if you happen to overfill your tank or fill it to the top, you have a backup. Everything has been professionally cleaned in here, and this is like brand new. It's really clean. It has very little use. It was not a rental or anything like that. Weatherproof vent cover, so the vent can stay open all the time. Floor heater vents. It's got the nice linoleum floor coverings. And I said I'd show you the storage underneath the queen bed here. I'm going to lift this up. So I've got my movie light on. Underneath the bed you have this very large storage area. You could put a vacuum cleaner or bottled water or beer or whatever you want. Very large cargo storage area under the rear queen bed, and then it has a nice storage compartment above. Forest River Coachman says the center compartment is large enough to hold a CPAP machine if you need one of those, but they have this triple storage compartment, and the bigger one in the middle, they said, supports a CPAP. And it's got little cubbies where you can stow stuff on a little shelf up above, which is pretty cool. Side drawer storage. The bedroom has its own air conditioning unit. Roof air. It's fully ducted system. And then as we go forward, we can close the bunk beds if we want. Ready to travel down the road. But in the bunk beds, each one has its own television. And there's a DVD player built into the bunk bed TV. There is a digital tuners, HD TV tuners, so you're watching over-the-air broadcast. What channel are we on? And this is not off satellite, this is just over-the-air coming off the antenna. So that's 2.2. Let's watch channel 4. So now I'm watching channel 4.1, but I can change it to 5.1, which I think is the news. Works really nice. But this is not the only bunks in this motorhome. You have the front electric bunk. Let's take a look at that. Up over the driver's seat, you have an electric bunk. So with the bed down in the stored position, you can set up the ladder. The ladder's right here. So it's easy to climb up and access the bed up here. It's very large, so you could possibly fit 2 kids or 2 adults up here. It's smaller than a queen. And then you've got these little hooks, you can hook it up there, so you have a fully contained, almost a playpen, not quite, but you could put the little ones up here and reduce the chance that they can fall out. If you're not using the electric bunk, then there's a specific place in the basement to store your ladder. It clips into a locking position down there. And then just at the press of the button up here, it goes up and puts away. Just hold the switch, raise it up to the ceiling, and the cabinets move up and down with it, so you still have storage up front. Some of the other motorhomes with the electric bunks don't have any storage. And then you just pop these pins in to lock them into position. Now the front seats on this motorhome are like brand new condition. They're perfect. The material is got zero defects or imperfections. And then they swivel around. Let me loosen the seatbelt here. Swivel it around, and then your armrest can come down and you can enjoy the conversation, or you can try to jockey it around past the steering wheel. Driver's seat is harder to swivel around, but the passenger seat, it's no problem to swivel it 360 degrees. Swivel it all the way around. Very nice condition seat. This video is in 1080p high definition, so you can watch this on your giant 4K TV in your living room. Just go on YouTube and search for this video, and it will display on your big TV so you can see the full quality. Now, start the engine. Let's look at the odometer. It has 8,085 miles on it right now. The brake light is on because the parking brake is set, to remind you. And then this is a power front sunshade. So by hitting the driver's seat control, I can raise the sunshade up to drive. And when you're at the campground, you can lower it all the way down. But when you're driving, it won't come all the way down because it doesn't, so it won't block your view if you hit the switch by accident or something when you were driving. And then that's your backup camera. Oh look, there's a bunch of cars parked behind us, so you can see it's not suitable to back up right now. Now when we turn on the turn signal, that switches to side camera view, or the right turn signal, side camera view. Go back to put it in reverse, and then you get the rear camera view. And you can manually select the camera view that you want. So if you're just towing a trailer, you can make sure that you're on rear camera while you're driving. There's some Prius parked behind me, so we can't back up right now. You've got all your auxiliary switches here. You've got your dash air conditioning, which is ice cold. Your backup camera display with a, which I'd like to point out, some manufacturers try to put it on the radio screen, but this is a bigger screen than what the radio would have offered. The radio has its own separate display, which I can turn on right here with a flick of a switch, and the radio is on. And so if you put it in reverse, you can hear sound from backing up, like if somebody's yelling commands at you, go, stop, move a little bit more, look out, whatever. You can hear that on the intercom system from the back, and that doesn't interfere with you listening to the radio. Some of the manufacturers combine these two, and I like it separate because it works better and it responds very quickly. If I turn on the turn signal, it's almost instant that you have the view, where some of the combined systems, it's like a 3 or 4 second delay, and by that time you've probably hit something. So this is better. And then cup holders. You've got cup holder on the driver's seat position, got cup holder in the passenger seat position. And power aiming mirrors with mirror heat. These have these halo headlights, are really cool. And then you can turn on your overhead light right here from the driver's seat or from the passenger seat, they can control the overhead light as well. Fog lights, auxiliary jump start switch, generator start, so it starts the generator right here from the dash. There's a second generator switch in back by the control board, which I'll show you in just a second, like right now. This is the rear control board with the second generator stop switch. Your level tests are back here, like black, tank, gray, battery power, your water pump on or off, water heater, gas or electric on or off. This is really important right here. You have two heating sources for water heater. You can heat your water, I'm talking about your shower and faucet water, with either propane, which is the gas, or electric, which is when you're plugged in or running the generator, or both, so you can have nice continuous hot water showers at the campgrounds. And then to check your auxiliary holding tank, you have the level selector switch right here. We can check the generator hours right here. Start up the generator for a second, and then it'll display the generator hours. 446 hours. Can you see that? Hold my camera in the right angle. 446.8 hours. Going back to the dash, this is a tilt steering wheel, so you can put this up, make it easier to swivel the chair. Over here is your leveling jack controls. Now the LCI, electronic hydraulic leveling, these are used by multiple manufacturers. They're a very reliable system. I've been really happy with these. I have almost zero problems with these, and they work really well. They don't seem to have the problems of older systems. And it supports manual leveling, which I prefer, or auto leveling, which is ideal for the campground, you know, to be quick and easy. But I prefer manual leveling because I can level the coach almost anywhere, even if it's not a site that's within the normal capability of what you could normally level a coach. You have to be careful when you use the leveling system. You never want to lift your tires all the way off the ground. It's especially important if you were on a slope and you lifted the rear tires off the ground. You might not have any braking if the tires are not in contact with the ground, and then also if the front. So you need to make sure you know what you're doing when you're leveling. Usually if you use auto leveling, you won't have to do anything fancy, but I prefer manual leveling because when I do, the coach stays a little bit lower to the ground when I do that, usually. Very clean. This dash looks like brand new. Excellent. You have dash fans up above, so these dash fans, you know, help defrost your windows if you're driving through winter climates. You know, if it's snowing outside and you're driving through white snow-covered countryside, which I did in one of these Miradas, just like this one. You turn on those dash fans to circulate the heat to keep your windows from fogging up. And in the summertime, you can circulate the air conditioning, which is kind of nice, keep you cooler and enhance the air conditioning, because you do have a large window, which is the advantage of this power shade. As I'm wrapping up on the driver's dash, a couple more things. This has a power point for plugging in like a cigarette lighter port for your gadgets and gizmos right here, and a second one over here. Very convenient. And then we're going to take a look for a second at the dash display here, at the odometer. It says 8,000 miles, but you have buttons you can press and see additional information. So engine hours are only 215 hours on the dash engine. Outside temperature 73. 203 miles till the fuel tank is empty. And then you can do a system check by pressing reset, and it checks everything is okay for you. Transmission okay, oil pressure okay, brake fluid okay, 203 miles to empty. System check complete. That's one of the features of the Ford chassis. Another thing that I want to show you on the Ford chassis is these have the tow haul mode selector. Now this is available, there's a little button on the end of the gear selector. Okay, on 2004 and older, This was overdrive off, but on 2005 and newer built Ford chassis, the tow haul mode does a lot more for you. And I'm going to explain that. So as I push the tow haul mode button, tow haul comes on the dash. And remember, the brake is set, parking brake. That's why the brake light is on. Tow haul mode light comes on to let you know that you're in tow haul mode. So when you're driving down a windy mountain road in tow haul mode, the transmission will automatically do the downshift dance to use the engine braking to slow you down. So if you're in tow haul mode, it's better in the mountains. Even if you're not towing anything, you want to put it in tow haul mode in the mountains, because the engine will help slow you down coming down the hill. So you might not have to use your brakes almost at all. A little bit, but not as much. Maybe 1/5 as much as you would have to use if you don't use tow haul mode. It's very, very helpful in the mountains. And the same thing when you're towing a trailer on the flats. It helps you decelerate and even helps you accelerate, because what happens is your engine RPM is the shift points of the transmission. It changes from trying to shift at low RPM to save fuel to high RPM to use your engine to enhance the capabilities of the vehicle. And they have similar systems on like Ford trucks and Chevy trucks and things like that, different brands. This is a Ford, but it's a very common modern safety feature. You should make sure that whatever you're driving, you're familiar with that, because remember, when you're driving down a hill with your foot on the brake, if an actual emergency happens in front of you and you step on the brakes harder, your drivers behind you will not have any warning, because you've been on your brakes all the way down the hill. But when you're using tow haul mode and you stomp on your brake pedal, it's going to get their attention, because you're hardly going to be using the brakes otherwise, unless it was a very, very steep, like a 7 or 8% grade. Now we're going to go on and talk about the kitchen. We've already talked about the bathroom, but the kitchen is a really big kitchen in here. It's got a full-fledged microwave oven here. Very nice one. Very clean, because it was professionally cleaned by my housekeeper. And stainless steel cooktop. 3-burner cooktop. It looks like brand spanking new. It looks like it hasn't even been used yet. And there's a little slot here behind where you can stow these sink covers. You can take these sink covers off and fit them behind. Stainless steel oven, and it looks like brand new in there, like it's never been used before. I don't think it has been used, because it's that clean. I don't think anybody ever used it for anything. I know my wife never uses the oven part, but a lot of people do. So you have a stainless steel double sink with sink covers. There's no leaks from any of the faucets on here. They're all in good condition. Spray rinse wand, so you can pull it down and rinse off your stuff and get it clean. It's really clean, in very good condition. Remember, there's 3 sinks in this coach. There's 2 showers. There's 2 toilets. Now, one shower is the outside shower. The other shower is the big, giant inside shower. So it actually has 2 toilets, 2 showers, 3 sinks, because I count the outside shower as one of the showers. It doesn't have the same level of privacy as an indoor shower, but it does have that. All underneath the cabinets and everything is very clean. Very nice in this coach. Giant storage up here. Now on this model, some of the newer ones, they put a TV here. Now most of the housewives that I've talked to like cabinets, not TV here. But some of the men wish there was a TV here opposite the couch. I personally prefer like this, but when you're designing a motorhome like these companies do, they have to, everything is compromised. This is not a house, although some people may want to live in it for several months or several years. This one has not been lived in. There's a lot of storage, including under this dinette and this sofa bed. Let's turn these into beds and see how they look. So let's start with the dinette. Now I've taken the covers off to show you this is all storage underneath. So there's seat belts under there, but If you can store your beer, your bottled water, your summer or winter linens in there, extra blankets, scuba gear, whatever you need to, you can store it in there. So on the sofa bed pulls out and it flips down, and then you have storage under there too. This you can use all the time. Nothing goes in there. The bed doesn't interfere with that. So this flips down, and then there's even a little bit of storage behind. It's got cup holders and turns into basically like almost a queen size bed for you. It turns into a bed right here, bed platform, and then as you're coming to bed, so you could sleep 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 or 8, 9 or 10, up to maximum maybe another person could set up a inflatable air mattress, but if that's crowded, so at minimum 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at minimum 8 people, up to 10 or 11 people could sleep in this motorhome if you wanted to push it. And with 2 bathrooms, you're not pushing it as hard as you are with a single bathroom motorhome. So it's pretty cool. Got a lot of room in here. So I've gone up to take a look at the roof of this motorhome. We're up here on the roof taking a look, showing you the roof condition. It's really good. It looks like brand new up here. Starting with these weatherproof vent covers. Okay, if you camp somewhere and the winds come up or starts raining, these vent covers are nice because you can leave your vents open and get fresh air into the RV while it's unattended, and you don't have to worry about rain getting in. The rain can't get in. It's got these weatherproof vent covers, and then this is your main electric awning, and then your slide out awning right here, so that when the squirrels drop the acorns, you don't have to come up here and sweep them up. Even if you put the slide in, they'll just roll off the side. You don't have to worry or even think about it. It's very nice. You've got your digital antenna here. It picks up, in this area, it picks up over 150 channels over the air just from the TV antennas on the mountain transmitters. The other weatherproof awning to protect the main slide out. You have vent covers over the plumbing vents, over the roof vents, and you've got your dual roof air conditioners. You've got a skylight up here. So let's go down. Look at the chassis of this Coachmen Mirada 35BH. Take a look underneath. Has the V5 towing package with the 7-pin connector. 80-gallon fuel tank underneath. Bilstein shocks, your big propane tank for your bathroom heat. You got Goodyear tires on it. A lot of tread on those Goodyear tires. No leaks from the axle. It's got a big heavy-duty anti-sway bar on the rear axle here. 4-wheel disc brakes. Follow the driveline up. Driveline's in good condition. It's not all rusty or anything like that. Leveling jacks right there. Front steering bar. Transmission. No leaks. No signs of fluid coming down underneath the vehicle. Front Goodyear tires. Front disc brakes. Front suspension. Everything looks good in the front here. You have your coolers for your radiator and your cooling fan and so forth. It's not rusty or anything up here. Looks to be in good condition. And the inspection looks good. Everything looks tight and secure. Nothing looks broken. Tire tread is plenty. Off tire tread. Front suspension. Ball joints. O2 sensor, and your transmission is not leaking anything. It's nice and clean under here. Everything looks good. Leveling jacks, no pitting or anything like that. These are metal compartments. No rust or corrosion on the bottoms. I mentioned earlier in my video that this has genuine steel construction on the storage compartments. A lot of motorhomes, these are made of roto-molded plastic, and when they get warmed up from the sun shining on them and get nice and toasty, the plastic gets really soft and you can't really put heavy things in them. But these are welded steel compartments, so these can support a lot more weight. All of them are welded steel construction. Tires, valve extenders, so you can access your tires. The bottom of the Onan generator, and all of your waste tanks, as we notice under here, they're all enclosed in the body. They're all inside your cargo storage area. So this is the bottom. Oh, let me get my camera in the right angle. So this is the bottom of your waste rear tank. It's all enclosed in metal. It's not exposed to the elements, so everything is protected from the environment. So we're going to wrap up this video. My name is Mike Johnson. Give me a call, 951-681-2101. Thank you.